Hey everybody, welcome to the SkyLounge episode number 104, and as always, thank you so much for joining me today and listening in. If you are new, welcome and check out some of the other episodes on the page. All episodes are available on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Music, so make sure you're subscribed so you can get notified for a new episode every Tuesday. Make sure to follow me on YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook at the SkyLounge. Stalk me on Snapchat at the813IG5UNG. Let's get started. Okay, the topic of the week this week. The definition of insanity, repeating behavior. So, as you notice, I'm uploading this a little bit late. And really, the definition of insanity. I love the monologue given by Voss Montenegro in Far Cry 3. Great game, and the actor Michael Mando, fantastic way he delivered the line. And the quote goes like this: Did I ever tell you what the definition of insanity is? Insanity is doing the exact same thing over and over again, expecting shit to change. That's crazy. And I do this to myself every month or whatever. Bullshit cycle I do. I procrastinate, push things aside, and being a real piece of shit about becoming the best version of yourself, as I always talk about, but I'm not doing it. And that personally that has to change, right? And the thing is, I don't know. There's always something about for me not seeing immediate palpable results. It can discourage me, and it does tend to, put me in a lull state. So my personal struggles, like quote, I do air quotes when I say I should struggles, because it's not a real struggle. But I'm not trying to say woe is me either. But really, it's one of those things where I don't know, man. There are days like you just don't want to get out of bed, and that only exasperates your whole procrastinating, complacency, and laziness. It really does. And the whole thing is, it's trying to get yourself out of that funk, trying to put yourself on track. How? How? The obvious answer is just making sure you do it, making sure you put yourself in that situation to make yourself become better. But it's hard. Obviously, it's hard. I'm literally saying this while I am lying in bed, recording, reading from my tablet, and recording from my phone. Oh, future tech guy. Ugh. But really, this complacency thing needs to, something's got to give. Something's got to give. And, it ultimately, and I'll keep this short, guys, ultimately build new habits and be better. This is something I have to do. Honestly, the one thing I will say that I've been doing is just trying to wake up early. Been waking up 7, 8 o'clock in the morning every day. And, building new habits really does make it better. And so we'll move on to some souse. All right, guys, all games and match reviews are on the YouTube page at the SkyLounge. So make sure you check that shit out for more detailed shit. I really do post every fucking match on there, every game. So if you want to quote-unquote in-depth analysis, you go check out the YouTube page with Arsenal Premier League number, oh my god, I can't even read today. Premier League week number 9 versus Leicester City, October 22nd, a 3-1 win on a Monday fixture, no less, which is curious. But let's talk about the goals and really the highlights of the first half here. Leicester brought it to us early in the first half. I thought Leicester was the more dominant team. Like I said in the match review, between Chilwell and Maddison, I think they were just running all over us. And then Bellerin, unfortunately, gets an own goal in the 31st minute. Because of the pressure that he was facing inside the box, Lino couldn't get a hand on it. But, you start the first half 1-0 down, and then here he comes. Mesut Ozil, and this came from a brilliant pass from Hector Bellerin, who, by all means, yes, he had the own goal, but he also had 2 assists, 2 critical assists, and this play, engineered by Mesut Ozil, passes it to Hector Bellerin, who I believe he crossed it inside the box, and Ozil's able to flick it inside, just away from Kasper Schmeichel, and it's 1-0. And Ozil, with that goal, becomes the highest goal-scoring German player in Premier League history at goal number 30, which is pretty insane. Thinking about that, just historically, that's pretty insane. And second half rolls on. We're asking the questions. We are getting aggressive. And then the 61st minute, Guendouzi and Aubameyang are subbed on for Mkhitaryan and Lichtsteiner. And honestly, Lichtsteiner was doing a pretty damn good job as a left back. And for us to add that fucking pace, man, it's like having a great ass pizza and adding Tabasco on top of that. If you already add Tabasco, it's already gonna be a bomb. It's already a bomb ass pizza. It's gonna be amazing more. And so, really, Aubameyang was the hot sauce. 63rd minute, 2 minutes after he gets subbed on. This really was a dagger to Leicester City. They couldn't answer this. They couldn't answer the goal that Aubameyang scored. And the crazier shit was the next goal. It was a fucking 5-man pass team effort. It was unbelievable. And Ozil assists to Aubameyang again. Aubameyang scores 4 goals in 2 appearances, all as subs. That's insane. I believe I read a stat that said Alexis Sanchez has 3 or 4 career Manchester United goals. So, Alexis who, motherfucker? Alexis who? So, the boys come out with the win. And I thought at the end of the match, the way they were getting aggressive, I really enjoyed that. And you know what, boys? This makes it 10. This makes it 10 straight wins. And I'm not gonna lie to you. That's kind of unreal because, yeah, relative to how weak the other clubs were, if this was last season, we would have lost all the matches on the road. But however, this has been nice. This has been really nice. And we're 4th place, tied in points with Chelsea and Tottenham. But those, Chelsea have better goal differential than us, but we have better goal differential than Tottenham. So it's a weird conundrum that we're facing right now. And apologize for all the yawning, but I literally just woke up. And guys, next week, Europa League group stages round number 3 at Sporting CP this upcoming Thursday, and on Sunday we got Premier League week number 10 at Crystal Palace on October 28th. So make sure you keep an eye on that for Arsenal. Other news going on in the world of football right now. It's crazy because there are all these expectations set on a team, and when they don't meet it, we're like angry little fanboys and fangirls. Yeah, why is it? Yeah. So look, Real Madrid is failing without Ronaldo. I mean, what are the odds? What are the odds? Real Madrid is sitting at 7th place. Now, I'm not just saying Ronaldo the player, but Ronaldo the culture. Okay, Ronaldo the culture has made a huge difference, and really, it shows. It shows. But La Liga, it's going to be Barcelona this season. Barcelona, Atletico Madrid. I don't really know if anybody else is going to catch up. Top Premier League clubs are still dominating right now. Chelsea and Liverpool, Manchester City, they're still going at it, although I believe Chelsea has slowed down a little bit. And so, guys, speaking of slowing down, the Seahawks have slowed down with the bye week, and next week we will be facing the Detroit Lions on October 28th. I know, very short for the Seahawks because there really was no other big news that came out. Obviously, rumors because the trade deadline is going to be happening next Monday, so we're just going to be keeping a lookout on that. Other things going on in the NFL. I know I procrastinated on the Pigskin picks. I mean, that's it. I really don't have a follow-up to that. But, both week number 6 and week number 7, How Wrong Was I will be released sometime this week. The trade deadline will be on October 30th. And again, we're going to keep a lookout. But there's already been a big move. And I know there's all these other trades, defensive tackles, other wide receivers, small other pieces going here and there, but really the big move, right? The big move that I was talking about all weekend was Amari Cooper to the Cowboys for a first-round pick going to the Raiders. Now, personally, I think this is a great move on both parties. I think for the Cowboys, it's a great thing for your immediate future, where you can compete right now, where you can pretty much take that NFC East if you wanted to. Whereas the Raiders, you have embraced the rebuild. You have embraced the tank. And I'm glad at least somebody in that office finally said, fuck it, guys, let's just embrace the tank. And they got a first round pick from that. So good on them. And I think you're going to see, obviously, a different dimension Raiders team in the near future, but it is going to be interesting to see how, John Gruden and the game drafts. Now, guys, we got to talk about my Lakers. The season started. Yes, they did. And I'll tell you what. 3 games in, we are 0-3. I'd be more upset, but I remember when this team was 0-3 with like D'Angelo Russell, Brandon Ingram. It was D'Angelo Russell, Jordan Clarkson, Kobe, who was pretty much announcing his final year in the NBA. Larry Nance Jr., Julius Randle. God, was Tarek Black in there? Dude, seriously. Marcelo Huertas. So, that 0-3 compared to this 0-3, it hurts less. I won't lie to you. This 0-3, it can hurt right now, but it doesn't really hurt that much because back then, the team had no future. The team had absolutely no future. We were fucked. And now, it's you know what? It's fine because let's talk about some of these games. At Portland, the first game, against the Trailblazers. The whole thing for me with the Portland Trailblazers is this. Ultimately, in the postseason, you guys are going to fail. And we did lose to them 128-119. But I think there's so many other factors going into this game. Obviously, you're playing, Portland's playing a home game. And their owner, Paul Allen, just recently died. So there is a lot of fire in these players' hearts. Stauskas was going off this game, which was kind of ridiculous for a bench player guy. But again, this happens in home games for other teams, even the Lakers. It does happen. And really, I thought the top 3 performers was LeBron James, Josh Hart, and JaVale McGee. Brandon Ingram, he was doing okay, but really in the third quarter he was popping. Before that, not much going on. Rondo facilitating play, all that shit, but I just didn't see a big impact in this one. And we lose on the road. And expectedly so, but we continue the drought of never beating Portland in the last 4 years. April 1st, 2014 was the last time we beat a Portland Trailblazers team, which is sad. Sad. It's very fucking sad. And then we go back home, October 20th, against the Houston Rockets, and lose this game 120-115. And the thing is, there was a fight. There was the ejection. And let's just talk about it briefly. James Harden drew an offensive foul on Brandon Ingram, who was defending on Harden. Now, he was visibly frustrated near the post. B.I. pushes Harden and yells at the ref. Next thing you see is fucking Rondo and CP3 arguing at each other. And crazy as shit is CP3 tries to eye gouge Rondo, and then Rondo punches CP3. And then B.I. comes running in and punches CP3. And dude, it was, listen, CP3 might as well have been like a fucking NFL girlfriend because he was getting beat the fuck up. Was that joke a little too dark? Well, I'm not apologizing. Fuck you. Well, here's the thing. Brandon Ingram will serve a 4-game suspension. Rajon Rondo will spend suspended for 3 games. Chris Paul 2 games. Personally, I think James Harden was being a pussy ass, and he was ass ramming into fucking Brandon Ingram, and that's just what I think. And that pissed off Brandon Ingram, and I'm glad at least B.I. is not really owning up to it. At least he's just being real honest about his emotions right now. So I'm glad about that. Top 3 players in this game: LeBron James, JaVale McGee, Lonzo Ball. Some will argue Rajon Rondo, but dude, he got ejected. If you get ejected, I kind of count you out almost instantaneously, but it is what it is. And then, guys, we went against the San Antonio Spurs at home in a 143-142 loss. Overtime loss. Yeah, so LaMarcus Aldridge is legit, obviously. And DeMar DeRozan, he's having a good time. And I honestly, in this trade, I think he's much better off than Kawhi is. Because Kawhi's future is still certainly uncertain. But DeRozan, I mean, as long as Pop stays on, he's going to be great. He's going to be fucking awesome. And the thing is, yes, the top three performers were Kyle Kuzma, LeBron James, Josh Hart. We can shit on LeBron for missing those free throws, but at the same time, man, he kept us alive. All right, didn't score in the first half at all for like only 4 points maybe, but this happens. And like my whole thing is this. In this week's take with the Lakers, really, it's going to be a long process. I've said this, and I understand it. And you know, by December, January, this team's going to pop off. Yeah, this team's going to pop off. And the one common factor on the 0-3 start, we can't defend, we can't rebound. Jesus fucking Christ, I can't emphasize that any further. We really can't. So, unfortunately, the Lakers start 0-3, but there were some interesting team news that were coming out this week. Kendrick Lamar dropped by for the Genius Series, where they have celebrities, culture figures come to talk to the players. So Kendrick Lamar was able to talk to some of the Lakers players this week. Travis Ware was waived after the Portland game, which is unfortunate. I do like him, but I can see the reasoning why. In the NBA, he's probably only going to net you 8-9 points at best each night. Couple of assists, maybe a couple of rebounds, but that's really it. He's not as physical, so I completely understand the move. Whereas our young draft pick, the 18-year-old, the youngest player that was active in the NBA, is sent down to the South Bay Lakers in the G League, which is great. I think this would help him develop. 18 years old. He is still developing. He's still a young kid, so it's good. It's good to see him get more playing time, even if it's in the lower league. But G League is still solid. I would say the G League is really one of the most underappreciated byproducts of the NBA. But hey, it is what it is. Next week, we have 4 games we have to talk about at the Phoenix Suns today on Wednesday. I know I'm supposed to do this on Tuesdays, but hey, it is what it is for me because I'm a lazy bitch. And then the very next day, we will be at the Staples Center, Denver Nuggets on October 25th. Then the boys will head on the road, San Antonio on October 27th, and Minnesota Timberwolves on October 29th. So the Lakers will be 0-3, but we are hoping the Lakers can be 4-3, maybe. So, other news going on in the NBA. Lots of ups and downs right now, man. Lots of up and down teams. And let's talk about a couple of them. Just a handful. Maybe a skinful. Boston is in a slump. Toronto is cruising and NOLA is killing it. All the bland shit. I really don't think there's really a huge surprise to me going into the season because again, first month or two, I'm gonna expect, bad teams to be all right and good teams to be meh. And so initially, it's going to look a bit slumpish for everybody else, from the outside looking in. But I know what's up, man. I mean, some of these teams, they compete now, but some teams compete January, December. When winning and form actually fucking matters. So that's what I think. And actual news for the NBA. G League to offer NCAA alternative. The NBA Development League will begin to offer $125,000 contracts to elite talents that are not eligible for the draft. Great news. And like I was complimenting the G League, I think this to have this option, to have this development option for college students who again don't want to be under NCAA rules, don't want to be fucking skimped out on money. I get this, and I think it's a great move. And so the G League is setting itself up for success, I believe. And I know WNBA players are going to be so, riled up and shit, but listen. The product speaks for itself. I believe there is about a 100-time audience difference between the WNBA final and an actual NBA final. I know the G League is no different, but really, it's a subsidiary. No, I can't really say that. It's pretty much a complementary piece and the development tool of the NBA is what they're trying to make it out to be, just like European soccer or European football. So I don't know. I don't know what the complaint. Like I understand the complaint of wage disparity between the WNBA and NBA players, but again, the product doesn't speak for itself. like WNBA does not have an audience viewership, and I'm pretty sure the G League doesn't either. But being tied as a development system now, the G League is going to have money coming in. It just doesn't matter. And I'm telling you, man, it's just so crazy. And really, it's not going to be every fucking elite talent. It's just going to be a handful of elite talent. I would say, really, if it's not the guys in the top 10 draft pick, if they're not projected to be in the top 10 draft pick, I don't think they're going to be in. But this is just one guy's opinion. So let's move on to the Golden Knights. And the Golden Knights had to host 2 home games out of the 5 home game stand, which they have started against Buffalo on October 16th. Again, revenge in their hearts as they lost 4-2 last time. This time they won 4-1. Hutton with 25 saves on 28 shots for Buffalo and an .893 save percentage, whereas Flower had 26 saves on 27 shots, .963. Fantastic for Flower. I think Hutton, despite trying to be there, it just didn't happen for his defense, unfortunately. And Vegas was turned on. They were pretty solid all throughout. And so goal scorers for Buffalo, you had nobody in the first, nobody in the second, and then Sabatka. Sabatka scored with only 30 seconds left with an extra man on the ice in the third period. And there was some crowding near the goaltender, but there was debate about interference called, but I thought it was just a clean goal. Even me, who gets over emotional about shit, I really thought that was just a really nice, clean goal. Vegas was able to score. They were able to run a fucking train this day. Marchessault scores in the first period, and he gets one late in the first with 2 minutes left. And in the second period, Cody Eakin scores a shorthanded goal 3 minutes into the period, and honestly, the game was really over after that. And Cody Eakin has been a stud. He has been a fucking stud. The dude has been physical. He's been faster on ice. His handling has gotten much better. I don't know what the hell he did during the offseason, but Cody Eakin has come in guns a-blazing, and I love it. And in the third period, Carlson with the power play and Marchessault with an empty netter. So Carlson capitalizes on a power play in the third period, getting his first goal of the second season halfway into the third period. Coincidentally, same as last season, Carlson didn't score until the 7th game of the season, and just like this season, he didn't score the first 6 games. And a reminder, William Carlson scored 43 goals and was 3rd overall in goals scored last season, the 2017-18 season, so let's not forget that. So we unluckily concede a goal, but immediately come up with an easy empty netter for Jonathan Marchessault, who scores with about 12 seconds left on the clock. 4 goals, 4 assists in the game at this point in 7 games. So low-key, the guy was just racking up points. Some of the positives that I wanted to take away from this game, the 5 out of 6 on the penalty kill, that was fantastic. I thought Holden looked really good on D. Some of the boils, though, despite the win, I thought the penalties. We were taking too much penalties initially and all throughout the game, and it showed. However, we were able to come out with the win. As for the Buffalo boys, looked good, but they were physically bullied all game. Eichel, Rasmus Dahlin, I thought those guys, elite talent as they may, Dahlin, give it a year, but he's going to be an elite talent. Eichel looks like he was bullied, and he was not in his element at all. So we revealed the 3 stars. Carlson with the goal and 2 assists. Fleury, 26 saves on 27 shots. Cody Eakin with the 1 star, 1 shorthanded goal. And this performance followed by another pretty solid performance against the Anaheim Ducks at home on Saturday, October 20th. Some of the highlights, Shaq and Misha Tate were in the building. Random, I know, but it was really fucking cool to see that. Game 7 of the NLCS, the Dodgers versus Brewers was going on during the game. Crazy. And I jumped out of my seat once it was confirmed that the Dodgers won and was heading back to the World Series. But let's talk about the goaltenders in this game. So, John Gibson, 42 saves on 44 shots. Really, he deserved to be the 2-star of this game. 2 or 1 star, I really don't care. At this point, I was just like, you know what? He deserves something. A .955 save percentage because his team can't fucking bail him out. Fleury with 17 saves on 18 shots. .944. Again, Fleury didn't really do much this game. And really, this is more of an indictment on the Anaheim defense than it is, Fleury not doing anything during the game. So Anaheim, No scores in the first 2 periods, and then Street in the third period. The Ducks were taking so many penalties. This was a huge problem with the Ducks all throughout the game. And they were becoming their worst own enemy. Like, they were becoming their own enemy. Worst own? I don't fucking know. They were just, like, kicking themselves in the dick. Every fucking time they had puck possession, and then every time they lose it, they draw a penalty. And it's like, what the hell are you guys doing? Like, as a Vegas fan, I was getting frustrated. And this is a Pacific Division rival. I don't like Anaheim. But again, you're looking at them like, Jesus fucking Christ. I saw it in Dallas when Anaheim went against Dallas. I saw it again that night against Vegas. Anaheim doesn't take shots. First period, 3 shots. Second period, 6 shots. Third period, 9 shots. You see the pattern here? Not just the threes, the short shots. And then trying to do that shit all in the third period. It's not going to work. And this is also a team, despite their record of 6-2 or 6 and something, goals were leaking because of poor defensive scheming and poor defensive pieces, and too much relying on John Gibson. You're gonna wear that guy out, unfortunately, and it sucks to say that because I think he is a top goaltender, and I even said this, dude. I think he could be a potential, Vezina, finalist. If he keeps this shit up and his team is this terrible, I don't know, man. Something's got to give here. Something's got to fucking give. As for the Vegas Golden Knights, goal scoring, I wouldn't say came easy, but it came in. Carlson with the power play goal, and to have Carlson score a power play, and when we've been so terrible on the power play, it's nice to see. Ryan Reeves and the fourth line able to produce. Ryan Reeves with a goal in the second period, right after the power play actually ended. Seconds after the power play ended, and Jonathan Marchessault with another empty netter because Riley Smith was able to carry the puck outside of our own zone, give a little small pass to Jonathan Marchessault, who was able to just ding that into the empty net. Dominant performance, and like a prison bitch, we kept it tight in the back and didn't let anything in. Granted, a lot of shots were taken, about 45 plus, but we were able to knock down a top goaltender. Yes. And so the 3 stars of the game, Carrier on the 3-star, 2-star Carlson, 1-star Reeves. Not surprised that Carrier got the 3 stars on there. Carrier was absolutely lights out that game, and I'm glad he got some recognition for that. And with the win, Marc-Andre Fleury ties Glenn Hall for 10th on all-time winning goaltender list. I believe Henrik Lundqvist sits at 9th with 423, if I'm not mistaken. But great shit. And Marc-Andre Fleury was also named 3rd star of the week in the NHL. So great week for Marc-Andre Fleury. Great week for the Golden Knights. And so this week for the Golden Knights, my whole takeaway is simply this, guys. Our defense have been keeping it tight, like I said, like a prison bitch. Our fourth line has been probably our best line. The fucking enforcer line. They get physical, they can kill the penalty, they can score. I mean, it's perfect. Carrier, Bellemare, Reeves. I think those guys are just doing absolute work, and I'm telling you, they're going to put the league on notice. Our first line is producing, which is phenomenal. Between Smith, Carlson, Marchessault, that line needs to produce. We need to have at least a point, 2 to 3 points from that line each game. So glad to see the boys are at it. And guys, some big news coming for the Vegas Golden Knights. Alex Tuch has signed a 7-year extension, expires 25-26 season, 2025-26 season, with a $4.75 million earning average every year for the next 7 years. So that equates to about $30+ million contract. And I know there's a lot of criticisms against this deal, but I'm going to go ahead and give you why. I think this is a solid deal. Relative to how top line forwards and how contracts are only going to get inflated in terms of valuation, this is a really good signing for us to do really early on. Alex Tuch, to keep him under $5 million annually, I think this is a really solid deal for the Vegas Golden Knights. They're going to get their values worth in 3-4 years time. Once he's developed into this top line forward, and again, guys, he's only 22. I think he's going to be unbelievable. His rookie season last year, debuted with the Vegas Golden Knights because he was a prospect with the Minnesota Wilds. He debuted with the Vegas Golden Knights when I believe they brought him on for the Boston Bruins game. It was him, Shea Theodore, and Vadim Shipachev that were playing their first games. And from then on, it was just the Alex Tuch show. He's a power forward. He can score. He he comes in clutch moments. God, I can't wait for Alex Tuch to start playing again. So insane, and I just love the fact that Alex Tuch is going to be a Knight for a long, long time. So guys, next week Vancouver Canucks tonight. So I will be heading over to the game. All the home games I'll be going over to. The Tampa Bay Lightning's on Friday, early afternoon game. So this is going to be fun. Ottawa Senators on Sunday. So a lot of great teams coming into town. And these are all generally Eastern teams. Well, with the exception of Vancouver and Anaheim. Teams that we won't be seeing at home. So, hey, that will end the 5-game homestand for the Vegas Golden Knights and followed by a 2-game road trip versus Nashville and St. Louis. So, go Knights, go. Let's keep this going. And NHL surprise teams. I'm going to talk about a couple of them, guys. Ottawa. What the actual fuck? They have a really solid record at this point. Canadians. Carey Price is back, and the Bergevin rebuild isn't so bad. What do you know? Not so bad. Hurricanes. I mean, what even is a Metropolitan Division? Devils, Capitals, Penguins, and the Hurricanes are on top. Okay, that's fucking weird. Calgary. Second in the Pacific. What the fucking hell is happening? I mean, they're stringing nice wins. Nanny the fuck right now, dude. And you see, I really undervalue a lot of Canadian teams. So for them to do well, I'm just surprised and, kind of elated. Like, this is Canadians, this is Canadian sports. And, it'd be nice to have Canadian teams do well. Just to see that kind of tension. Dodgers news, guys. We don't really talk about the Dodgers much, but, postseason, we got to talk about Dodgers. The NLCS results. The Dodgers are going back to the World Series. Back-to-back since 1977, 1978. Let's get it, boys. The Dodgers were able to edge out the Milwaukee Brewers in a 7-game NLCS series. Intense, but totally worth it to see the boys go through it in the end. Cody Bellinger named the NL MVP. Great work and clutch work by Cody Bellinger. I was able to watch a couple of these NLCS games, and he came in the clutch many, many times. And so, guys, the World Series begins, Tuesday, last night. So the thing was, I was really drinking heavily and smoking a lot all of last night. And Game 1 of the World Series, Boston Red Sox were able to beat the Los Angeles Dodgers on an 8-4 win. I thought in the 6th or 7th inning, the Dodgers really lost that game there, allowing it allowed a homer, 4 runs, and it was lights out after that. So Boston Red Sox Dodgers. Still a 7-game series, boys. Let's just keep going at it. Keep your heads up. And God, I can't wait to just fucking see, watch the series more and more. Remember, guys, all weekly writing is in the links in the description below. Check that shit out. Weekly writing number 40, news tonight, satire. I wanted to parody CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, and all the other super partisan TV networks out there. And just fuck with it, because midterm elections is ruining my TV right now. They are ruining my fucking sports TV. And, guys, weekly film number 40, Little Nicky. Yeah. Trust me, I hate myself for pushing Gaga away for so long, but hey, fuck. The plot. The devil has 3 sons, and his eldest 2 become dicks and try to take over the earth. It is up to the youngest son, Nicky, Adam Sandler, to save hell from total chaos. I mean, to be honest, it's a weird fucking plot line. Obviously, I like the movie for its absurdity and its stupid humor, but, when you actually try to rate this movie and try to criticize it, critique it and shit, it gets pretty bad. Characters, Adam Sandler does this weird jaw thing to be Nicky, and it's fucking weird. There's a lot of other characters that are listed in here. Reese Witherspoon being a weird guest character, but all these characters just fit, they fit into the Adam Sandler comedy trope of, either the super stoner, the I'm not comfortable in my own skin guy, all these other things. Visually, early 2000s CGI visual effects, cheap and yet aged so terribly. Love it. Music, all subpar early 2000s soundtrack that you think, in retrospect, they're not that great. You got a lot of, Incubus? Jesus fucking Christ, yeah, that's aged fucking well, right? Miscellaneous shit. Quentin Tarantino plays a blind priest. Fun facts, boys and girls. So, review this movie. I give this a 3.5 out of 10. Despite holding a near and dear place in my early childhood reminiscent heart, Little Nicky proves to be a Hollywood mess on a fun concept that mixed itself with bland comedy. Album of the week, guys. Again, I didn't want to watch anything new, and I didn't feel like listening to new music. And so I was able to listen to Gunfighter Ballads and Trail Songs by Marty Robbins, and I just wanted to listen to something kind of old, like obviously old school, but feeling of isolation, and Marty Robbins gets it in this album. And it's a Western, real country feel to this, album. And my favorite track is Straddle Tramp. Just able to illustrate the loner lifestyle, and I like that shit. Med track, I thought Billy the Kid was kind of a med track, just because I don't really care about that track at all. Fun tidbits. Marty Robbins' Big Iron is featured in Fallout New Vegas. Surprise, surprise. Bus, vitamins, and new habits. All right, guys, as I talked about in the topic of the week, I felt like I wanted to shake out of my habits, so gotta build new habits. Just no rape and murder, kids. That's all I say. So bus, bought a bus pass, moving around, getting around everywhere, just, making sure my timing is early, making sure I'm up early, all that shit. Vitamins, making sure I'm taking vitamins, so keep that healthy lifestyle, new habits, baby. That's all we got to do. Next week on the Sky Lounge, I don't know, but I'm still trying to do shit, trying to figure shit out. We'll be on the Sky Lounge. We'll be reporting more fun shit. And that's it, folks. All right. Thank you so much for joining me this week. Make sure you are subscribed on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Music for a new episode every Tuesday. Make sure to follow me on YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook. And at the Sky Lounge. Stop me on Snapchat at DA13IG5U.